Kale was a human soldier, strong, smart, and stubborn. He had survived many battles on alien worlds. But this time, he wasn't lucky. He had been captured during a surprise attack on planet Zetheria, deep in enemy territory. The aliens had taken his weapon, his armor, and his freedom. They threw him into a cold, glowing prison cell made of strange energy walls. The air smelled like metal and smoke. His muscles ached. His face was bruised. Yet Kale sat straight, silent, and alert. A soldier never shows fear, even when he's surrounded by aliens. He expected to be alone. But he wasn't. In the far corner of the cell, someone was lying still, an alien female. She looked different from the warriors he had fought. She was smaller, delicate, and her skin shimmered like silver under the dim lights. Strange markings ran along her arms and neck, glowing softly in a pale blue color. She was hurt, blood on her shoulder, a gash on her side, but she was breathing. Kale kept his distance at first. He didn't know if she was a threat. Maybe this was a trap. Maybe she was a spy. Then she opened her eyes. Her gaze met his and Kale froze. Her eyes were bright violet, almost too beautiful for a battlefield. But they didn't show anger, no hate, no fear, just sadness. "You are the human they caught," she said softly, her voice like a whisper in the wind. Kale narrowed his eyes. "And you're one of them? You planning to kill me too?" She smiled weakly. "If I wanted you dead, you would be—" That made Kale raise an eyebrow. He moved closer, but not too close. "Then why are you in this cell?" "I refuse to follow their orders," she said, pain in her voice. "I'm not like them." There was silence between them for a moment. The humming of the ship filled the air. Then she said something that made Kale freeze. "If you kill me now, they'll thank you for it." "What?" "I am what they call a failure. I refused to breed with the warlord they chose for me. I disobeyed. I wanted to choose my own path. So they beat me, then threw me here to die quietly." Kale didn't reply. He had seen many things in war, but this was different than the alien woman looked at him again, serious but soft. "But if you take me, if you bond with me, they'll fear you." Kale blinked. "Bond with you? What are you talking about?" "My body," she whispered, "has chosen you." He stepped back. "Okay, now you're talking crazy." She struggled to sit up, wincing in pain. "Your kind. Your strength. Something inside me responded when I saw you. I don't understand it fully. But I know this, if we bond, I will carry your seed, a powerful one. And they cannot allow that." Kale was speechless. This alien woman, hurt, rejected by her own people, was offering him something more than escape. She was offering a strange kind of trust. "And maybe something close to survival. You expect me to just accept that?" he asked, confused. "I expect nothing," she said quietly, "but I offer you a chance. If you do this, they'll fear what we can create. You will no longer be a prisoner. You will be a threat." Kale stared at her. Her voice was steady, but her body was weak. He could tell she wasn't lying. There was no trick in her eyes. "Why me?" he asked finally. "Because," she said, "my instincts chose you. And I trust them, even if I don't understand why." Kale sat down on the floor, his mind racing. A day ago, he was on a mission. Now, an alien woman was asking him to bond to create life that could shake both their worlds. He looked at her again. She was still breathing hard. Her wound was bleeding again. "Fine," he said, "but I'm not doing this your way." She looked at him, surprised. "What do you mean?" "I'm not taking you for power. I'm not using you as a weapon. If we do this, we do it with understanding, with respect. Or not at all." For the first time, she smiled, a real, warm smile. "Then you are truly worthy," she whispered, and just like that, a strange silence fell between them, not of fear, but of something new, something fragile. Maybe hope. Kale leaned his head back against the cold wall. What had he just agreed to? He didn't know, but one thing was certain. This war was about to change. Kale didn't sleep that night. He sat with his back against the glowing cell wall, arms crossed, eyes half closed, but always watching. Across from him, the alien woman rested quietly, her breath shallow, her wounds still glowing faintly blue. Her name was Vilari. A name that sounded like a whisper from the stars. He kept asking himself the same question again and again. Why him? Why did her body choose him, a human, a soldier, a prisoner? And what did it even mean? By morning or whatever passed for morning on this strange ship, she stirred. Her voice was weak, but her eyes were sharp. You didn't run from me, she said. Cale raised an eyebrow. Where would I go? No, she said softly. I meant you didn't fear me. Not even when I told you what I am. Cale smirked. I'd faced worse things than a silver-skinned woman whispering about bonding and offspring. Vilari looked down. Then you're ready to know the truth. Cale leaned forward slightly. He didn't say anything. Just listened. Vilari took a slow breath. My kind, we are not born like yours. We are engineered, designed to continue strong bloodlines. Every elite female is raised with one purpose, to mate with the strongest male of her species. No emotion, no choice. Just duty. Cale narrowed his eyes. Sounds like slavery. It is, she whispered. But no one dares call it that. She looked up at him, her glowing eyes soft but fierce. I was promised to a warlord named Threxall. He's cruel. He sees females as breeding tools. He tried to take me by force, but something inside me rejected him. I ran. Cale frowned. And that's how you ended up here. I hid for days. Until the elders caught me. They were going to terminate me until something strange happened. She looked at him again. The moment you were dragged into the ship, my body responded. Cale blinked. Responded? Vilari nodded. I felt heat, fire, inside. My genes activated. My body recognized you as a perfect match. Cale stood up, uncomfortable. You're saying your DNA wants mine? In simple terms, yes, she said calmly. Our scientists would call it an imprint. My body marked you as a chosen breeder, but I feel something deeper. She hesitated, then whispered, I don't just want to bond with you. I want to understand you, be free, with you. Cale paced the cell, his head hurt. Everything sounded like madness, genetic bonding, breeding instincts. Her people engineered for reproduction? It was too much, but when he looked at her weak, hurt, alone, he couldn't ignore the strange pull. Inside him, something about her felt right, even if nothing made sense. Vilari spoke again. If we bond, I will become pregnant within hours. The child will be powerful, a hybrid. Neither human nor Zetherian, but both. And that child will carry traits never seen before: strength, speed, intelligence, unity. Cale stopped walking. She wasn't just asking for protection. She was offering him a way to end the war, but then she added something darker. That's why they'll kill us both if they find out. Cale turned sharply. What? Threxall cannot allow a hybrid to exist. It will destroy the old system. He'll hunt us across the stars if he has to. Cale cursed under his breath. So now it wasn't just about escape, it was survival. And maybe something more. You said you felt something deeper, Cale asked carefully. What do you mean? Vilari looked down, her voice almost a whisper. When I saw you, I didn't just feel instinct. I felt peace. I've never known that feeling before. You didn't touch me. You didn't hurt me. You listened. She looked up. You made me feel like I was someone, not just something. Cale didn't speak for a moment. Then he sat down again, his face serious. This bonding, it's permanent, isn't it? Yes? And the child? Born within 7 days. Cale let out a slow breath. Fast, very, she nodded. He stared at her. At her silver skin, her glowing eyes, her trembling hands. She wasn't a monster. She was a prisoner too. Of her people, of her body, of her past, and she had chosen him. He still didn't understand why, but something in his chest told him he had to protect her. Not just because of the child. Not just because of war, because she had asked for something no one ever had in this galaxy full of death and power: mercy. Cale sat on the cold floor, head in his hands. Just yesterday, he was a soldier, a fighter. A human weapon dropped into alien territory. He was trained to shoot, not to feel. Now, An alien woman had asked him to father a child that could change. The future of two species, and not just any alien, Velari. She was more than a prisoner. More than a body with glowing skin and violet eyes. She was hope. She was danger, and her people would kill her for it. You don't have to decide now, she said quietly, still resting against the wall. But we don't have much time. Kale looked at her. You said the bonding makes you pregnant in hours. Yes, and in 7 days, the child is born. Yes. He shook his head. That's insane, she gave a small smile. That's Zetherian biology. Kale leaned back and stared at the ceiling. The lights above flickered as the alien ship continued its journey through space. He could feel the weight of it all pressing down on him. If he said yes, he would become more than a soldier. He would become the father of the first human Zetherian hybrid, a living symbol of peace, or a threat to both empires. Velari sat up slowly, clutching her side. There's something else I need to tell you. Kale looked over. Of course there is. She took a deep breath. If we bond, my DNA will mark you as my mate. The Zetherian systems will recognize the link. You will gain limited access to command-level functions of this ship. It's a biological key. That's how deep the bond runs. Kale blinked. Wait, you're saying if we do this, I can control parts of the ship? She nodded. Not everything, but enough to open locked doors, maybe escape routes, maybe more. Kale's mind started racing. That changed everything. This wasn't just some strange alien romance. This was a chance to break out, not just for him, but for her too. What happens after? He asked, eyes sharp. If we escape, the child will be hunted, she said. So will we, by your warlord? And others, but I know a place. A hidden moon where my old nurse once lived. She was cast out. Like me, we could go there. At least until the child is born. Kale stood up and started pacing. You're asking me to run across the galaxy with a pregnant alien while carrying a target on my back and possibly starting an interstellar war? Velari gave him a calm, sad smile. No, I'm asking you to help me end one. Kale stopped. The room went quiet. He thought of Earth. Of the millions dying in battles they didn't even understand. Of politicians barking orders, never seeing the front lines, and he thought of this moment. Of this alien girl, weak and broken, offering him not a weapon, but a way out. A new path, not just for her, not just for the child, but for everyone. Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed. Voices shouted in the Zetherian tongue. Velari's eyes widened. They're moving prisoners. Kale turned to the wall. The energy grid around their cell shimmered and flickered. Then, through the hum of alien voices, came one sharp sentence in the common galactic tongue. The human will be transferred to the science deck. Kale looked. At Velari? What does that mean? They'll experiment on you, she whispered. Or worse. He clenched his fists. Not if I stop them. She reached toward him, weak but determined. If you agree to bond, I can activate the ritual now. The ship will mark you as mine. You'll gain access. You'll have a chance. Kale stared into her eyes. He wasn't sure if this was bravery or madness, but deep inside, something told him this was right. Maybe this wasn't about war anymore. Maybe this was about mercy. About life. And the strange, impossible chance to change the galaxy with a single choice. He took her hand. I'll do it, he said. Her eyes filled with glowing light. A soft hum filled the cell. Their skin glowed where they touched. The bond had begun. Asterisk. The moment Kale said yes, the air inside the prison cell changed. The hum of the glowing energy walls deepened in pitch. The lights dimmed, then shifted into a warm golden color. The ship recognized his choice. It had begun. Velari's hand trembled in his. A faint light flowed from her skin into his fingers, like liquid starlight. Her eyes glowed brighter soft, not blinding. She didn't look like a prisoner anymore. She looked like a queen being reborn. This is the start, she whispered, voice shaking. Once the bond completes, you will carry my mark, and I will carry your life within me. Kale didn't know what to expect. No one trained him for this. He'd handled alien tech, guns, grenades, but this? This was ancient, biological, sacred. Suddenly, a loud chime echoed through the ship. Kale turned his head sharply. The red emergency lights returned. Screams followed in the hallway. Metal clanged of blasters fired. "What's going on?" he asked Velari. "Looked terrified. They found out. They're trying to stop it." A voice crackled over the speakers in Zetherian. Though Kale didn't understand the words, the tone was clear. "The female is initiating a sacred bond. Terminate immediately." The wall of the cell rippled. From the ceiling, long silver tendrils dropped like snakes, part of the ship's neural system. They hovered above Kale and Velari, scanning, reading, learning. One of them touched Kale's chest. He gasped. Memories flashed in his mind, not his own, but hers. Pain, rejection, fleeing from the warlord. Nights hiding in freezing alien jungles, and then him. The moment she first saw Kale, his scent, his strength, his refusal to kneel. The bond wasn't just physical. It was mental, emotional, complete. Kale dropped to one knee. Overwhelmed Velari crawled toward him, placing her forehead gently against his. "You must stay strong," she whispered. "The ship needs to feel your will." "My will?" he asked, breathless. "Yes, if you resist, the ritual will break and we will die." Kale closed his eyes. He remembered Earth, the war, his fallen brothers, the children caught in crossfire, the screams of the innocent. He remembered her voice asking not for power but for mercy, and suddenly he knew what he wanted. Not revenge. Not escape. Peace. A loud metallic clang interrupted his thoughts. The cell door was being cut open from the outside. Plasma torches hissed. Sparks flew. "They're coming," Kale shouted. Velari didn't move. She was glowing brighter now. The tendrils from the ceiling wrapped around her arms, then her waist, then her back. "They can't kill me," she said softly, "until the ritual finishes, but they will try. You must protect the connection. Protect me." Kale stood, adrenaline flooding his body. The markings from Valeri's skin had now started glowing on his arms, two zigzagging like silver tattoos, burning into his flesh. But without pain, he felt faster. Stronger. Connected. The cell wall burst open. 3 alien soldiers charged in. Armor black and red, weapons raised. Kale didn't think he moved. With a roar, he grabbed the closest soldier's arm and slammed him against the wall. Another fired a shot. Kale ducked, rolled, and punched the alien square in the chest. Something was different. He was faster than before. The third soldier aimed at Velari. Kale's eyes widened. "No!" He lunged, grabbing a broken piece of the energy wall and hurled it like a spear. Crack! It hit the attacker square in the head. The alien dropped, unconscious. Valeri's body arched, light pouring from her. "It's almost done," she cried. "Just a little longer." The ceiling trembled. Kale looked up. Dozens of blinking red lights lit up. The hallway beyond, more soldiers were coming. "Velari, we need to move," he shouted, but she shook her head. "If I move now, the bonding will collapse. The life inside me will die." Kale looked at her, chest pounding. He stood between her and the broken doorway, arms raised, ready to fight again. And then something clicked. A sharp beep echoed inside his ears. His vision flickered. Strange alien symbols danced across his eyes. He wasn't seeing with human eyes anymore. The ship was speaking to him. A glowing panel appeared on the wall. He touched it instinctively. A voice spoke in Zetherian, but Kale understood. "Bond confirmed. Access granted." Suddenly, doors slammed shut across the hallway. Lights went blue. Soldiers were locked out. Velari collapsed into his arms, breathing hard. "It's done," she whispered. "You're mine, and I'm carrying life." Kale held her tightly. His hands shook, but not with fear. Something had begun inside her, and something had awakened inside him. Not just strength, purpose. The cell was silent now. Only the soft hum of alien energy remained. Velari lay in Kale's arms, her silver skin glowing gently. Her breathing was slow, but steady. Inside her, something had changed forever. A new life was growing, faster than anything Kale had seen or imagined. He looked at the marks glowing on his arms, the same alien lines that now connected him to her. He wasn't just bonded. He was chosen, but peace never lasted long on a Zetherian warship. The ship screamed. Again, this time louder, deeper, like a beast in pain. Lights flashed red and purple. Somewhere in the distance, a door was torn apart. Kale's instincts kicked in. "They're coming," he whispered. Velari nodded, weak. "They'll send the elite now." "Not soldiers, killers." Kale stood and placed her gently against the wall, shielding her with his own body. His eyes narrowed. "Let them try." Down the hall, shadows moved quickly. Too fast for ordinary warriors, 3 figures stepped into the light, cloaked in black armor, faces hidden behind smooth metal masks. Long blades rested on their backs. Their presence made the walls feel colder. "Who are they?" Kale asked. Valeri's voice was filled with fear. "The Death Sisters. Personal assassins of Threxall. They don't speak. They don't feel. They only end what must not exist." Kale tightened his fists. "They're too late." The first assassin moved like lightning. She launched toward Kale, silent, no warning. Blades slicing through the air, but Kale was faster. He sidestepped, grabbed her arm, twisted and slammed her into the wall. Her body hit hard, but she rolled back up like a shadow and vanished. The second leaped from the ceiling. Kale raised his arm, and a pulse of energy burst from his palm. He didn't know how he did it, but the ship responded to him now. Valeri's bond had changed his body, and maybe even his mind. The assassin hit the ground, stunned but alive. The third didn't attack yet. She stared at Kale, head tilted, curious, then she spoke. Just one sentence. "You are not what we expected." Kale's voice was cold. "I never am." Suddenly, all 3 attacked at once. Kale moved like a storm. Fists, elbows, kicks. His body was stronger, faster, sharper. Every time they struck, he struck back harder, but they didn't stop. They weren't trying to kill him. They were trying to get to Velari. One assassin broke through and charged toward her. "No." Kale roared. He grabbed a broken energy pipe and hurled it like a spear. It stabbed through the assassin's chest. Her mask cracked. Her body fell. The second tried to escape, but Kale caught her, slamming her into the floor so hard the metal dented. The third hesitated. She looked at Vael Ari. Then at Kale. Then she vanished into the shadows. Kale stood there, chest rising and falling. 2 enemies down. One escaped. He turned to Velari. She was watching him, tears in her glowing eyes. "You protected me," she whispered. Kale knelt beside her, holding her hand. "Of course I did." "You don't understand," she said, voice trembling. "The ritual, it wasn't just about creating life. It was also a test of heart. If the chosen mate failed to protect the bonded, the child would not survive." Kale's heart skipped, and Velari placed his hand gently on her belly. "You passed." A sudden, strange warmth spread through Kale's chest. He felt it. A second heartbeat. Soft, faint, new. The child was real. Alive. But the danger wasn't over. "The last assassin will report to Threxall," Velari said. "He'll come himself now." Kale's jaw tightened. "Let him." "No," she said quickly. "We can't face him here. He'll bring more than blades. He'll bring an army. Then we run." Velari looked up. "To the hidden moon?" Kale nodded. "Where your nurse is. We hide. We wait for the child. Then we end this war on our terms?" Suddenly, the ship responded to his voice. A map appeared on the wall, holographic. Glowing blue. Kale touched it. A new path opened. A hidden shuttle bay. Guarded, but not unreachable. He looked at Velari. "Can you walk?" She nodded. "For our child, I will." Kale helped her to her feet. Together they stepped through the broken cell doorway. Blood on the floor, shadows behind them, fire in front, and between them, life. The escape wasn't quiet. Every step Kale and Velari took echoed through the hollow ship corridors. Behind them, shadows and blood. Ahead, uncertain freedom, but something else had begun too. Something deep inside her. Velari stopped suddenly, gripping the wall with both hands. Her breath caught. Kale turned instantly. "What's wrong?" She looked at him, eyes wide, glowing brighter than ever. "It's starting." "What is?" She placed his hand on her belly. And he felt it. Movement. Strong, fast, unnatural. "The child." It's growing faster than expected, she whispered. Too fast. The bond made it stronger than any of us could imagine. Kale's heart raced. How much time do we have? Valari looked into his eyes. Maybe 1 hour. Kale had seen battlefield injuries, explosions, alien monsters, but nothing had ever made him more afraid than what she just said, that she was pregnant, she was glowing, and the child inside her was evolving by the second. They reached the hidden shuttle bay. It was dark, filled with old escape crafts and dust. A good place to hide or be hunted? Kale found one ship still powered. He helped Valari inside, set her down, and checked the controls. Alien symbols danced across the screen, but now he understood them thanks to the bond. We can launch, he said, turning to her. We just need... Suddenly, Valari cried out. She arched back, hands on her stomach. Light exploded from her skin like a pulse. Kale rushed to her side. Valari! Her breath was ragged. The child! It's not normal. It's energy. It's breaking the ship. The walls around them trembled. Lights flickered wildly. The air smelled of smoke and ozone. Outside, Kale could hear footsteps. Zetherian. Guards had arrived, but they weren't entering. They were backing away. They were afraid. Kale looked around. The metal groaned. Cracks formed on the floor. What's happening? He demanded. Val Ari gasped. The hybrid is forming its own power field. My body can't hold it much longer. Kale knelt beside her. You're strong. You've come this far. I'm here. We do this together. Valari stared at him through tears of pain and strength. No Zetherian has ever done this before, she whispered. And no human ever could. But we're not just Zetherian and human anymore, Kale said. We're something new. Suddenly, boom. A surge of energy shot out from her belly, blowing open a storage wall. Lights burst. The shuttle's system screamed with warnings, but Kale didn't move. He placed both hands on her glowing skin, and something incredible happened. His body absorbed the energy. The ship stopped shaking. The walls calmed. And the pulse of the child steadied. You're stabilizing me, Valari said in awe. You're grounding the power. Kale didn't speak. He was in shock. He could feel 3 heartbeats now. His own, hers, and the child's. And the child was thinking somehow. He felt it. The baby wasn't just alive, it was aware. Valari screamed again. The glow in the room turned golden. Symbols floated in the air. The ship around them responded, closing doors, turning off alarms. It was as if the baby's very existence was controlling the ship now. Kale shouted over the noise. We have to get off this ship before the warlord gets here. Valari nodded weakly. Help me, I can push now. Kale didn't know what to do, but his hands moved anyway. He helped her. He held her. And in the middle of a dying alien warship, a new life came into the universe. The light vanished. Silence. Kale looked down. In Valari's trembling arms was a child. Not fully human. Not fully Zetherian, skin pale silver, with small glowing lines across its body, eyes closed but peaceful. Alive. Val Ari smiled through tears. You did it? No, Kale said. We did. Suddenly the ship's system voice returned, calmer now. Hybrid birth detected. Code Prime initiated. Ship control locked to bonded family. Kale's eyes widened. We control the ship now, Valari nodded. Yes, they can't stop us anymore. He stood, holding the baby in one arm, and reached for the ship's launch controls with the other. It was time to fly, time to disappear, time to protect this child. This miracle. The stars moved like slow fire outside the small escape ship. Inside, everything was quiet. Kale sat with the baby in his arms, wrapped in a soft silver cloth. The child, half human, half Zetherian, breathed softly. Its skin shimmered gently, and every now and then its little fingers sparked with light. Valari sat beside Kale, resting, her hand on his shoulder. She looked tired but strong. They had survived. They had escaped the warship, but they both knew the fight wasn't over. We're close to the moon, Kale said, watching the navigation screen. Just a few more minutes, Valari nodded. If my old nurse is still alive, she will hide us. No one knows that place anymore. But as they approached the small dark moon, something blocked their path. A massive ship, black, sharp, and alive with red lights. Kale stood. That's him. Valerie's breath caught. Threk Zul. The enemy warlord's voice echoed into their ship. You have something that belongs to me. Surrender the female and the child. Kale stepped in front of the screen. I won't. There was silence. Then the warlord himself appeared on the screen, tall, terrifying, eyes like burning coals. His voice was calm, too calm. You are a mistake. That child is a threat to the old order. Give it to me, or die with it. Valari stood beside Kale, weak but proud. No, this child is ours. You'll never touch him. Warlord Threxel smiled. Then watch your ship burn. Suddenly, their small shuttle shook. Alarms rang. Lasers fired from the warlord's ship, hitting the moon's surface and blocking their landing zone. Kale quickly passed the baby to Valari and sat at the controls. We can't outrun him, he muttered. But then something strange happened. The baby opened its eyes, calm, glowing, wise, and every screen in the shuttle flickered. Alien symbols appeared, then a message. I will protect us. Before Kale could speak, the shuttle systems lit up on their own. Energy shields activated. The ship moved not with Kale's hands, but with the child's will. Warlord Threxel's ship fired again. This time, the blasts hit something invisible, and bounced back. Explosions ripped across the warlord's engines. Kale's eyes widened. The baby just deflected that? Valari held the child tighter. He's not just strong. He's aware. He knows who we are, what we need. The enemy ship shook violently. More explosions, more screaming voices, then silence. Warlord Threxel's face returned to the screen, bloody, panicked. What? What are you? Kale stepped forward, face calm. I'm a human. He placed his hand on the baby's head. And this is the future you tried to destroy? Threxel screamed in rage. Then the screen went black. His ship drifted. Powerless into the stars, they landed on the hidden moon. Thought it was quiet, peaceful, covered in glowing moss and deep caves. An old Zetherian woman with white eyes and a warm voice greeted them. Valari hugged her like a daughter seeing her mother after years. The woman looked at the child, touched his forehead gently, and smiled. The war is over, she whispered. He is proof. Days passed. Kale built a shelter near a quiet lake. He used old ship parts and alien tech. Valari grew stronger. She laughed now, smiled more. The baby grew too, but not just in size. He could already float small objects. He made lights dance in the air when he was happy. He hummed to the stars at night. He wasn't just a mix of two species. He was something new, something better. One evening, as the sun set behind the purple hills, Kale sat with Valari and the child beside the lake. He looked up at the sky. Do you think Earth will ever accept him? Valari smiled. One day, when they're ready, when they learn what mercy looks like. Kale looked at her, heart full. I never planned this. I did, she whispered. The moment I saw you, my instincts chose right. He took her hand, kissed it gently. They sat in silence. The child reached up, touched both their cheeks, and smiled. And for the first time in a galaxy filled with war and pain, there was peace. True peace. Final line. From mercy came love. From love came life. And from life came the beginning of a new world. Asterisk.